today we're going to be talking about some new-ish releases, and I'm saying new-ish because some of these are fairly new, like within the last month or two, and some of them were released in the latter half of 2020. I think pretty much all of them were released in the last 6 months, so again, fairly new, but I have a lot of different fragrances here for you, and I have a giveaway. I've had a lot of giveaways lately, but I just have things that I don't need that I would like to share with other people who might enjoy them. So in this case, I have, I got an extra Michael Kors Gorgeous travel spray, as well as the Jimmy Choo I Want Choo. That box is really pretty. But these are both travel sprays that I have brand new from Ulta, as you can see there. So I'm going to be giving those away, so stay tuned to the end and I'll tell you what you need to do for that. But besides these two, I also have for you today Masque Milano's Madeleine, and I have, let's see here, Jo Malone Scarlet Poppy. So both of those are pretty new. This one's a little bit older, but still very new. It's Dusita's Moonlight in Chiangmai. And so that one was released, I want to say October-ish of last year. And this is kind of fun. I have 4 of these Christian Louboutin Loubiworld fragrances. There was a really nice sales associate for Christian Louboutin who reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try some of these, and I said, yeah, sure, that'd be great. So she sent me 4 in total samples of these different fragrances. I think there might be closer to 8 in the whole line, but I have 4 here to tell you about. So we'll go through all of these. For some of these, it's kind of first impressions because I really haven't had a chance to wear them much at all, if at all. And for others, I might be able to tell you a little bit more about the longevity because I have had the chance to wear them. All right, so let's start with the 2 that I'm going to have the giveaway for. So first up is Jimmy Choo's I Want Choo, and I think the bottle for this one's kind of pretty. I don't own any Jimmy Choo fragrances. This is the only one I even have a travel size of. And I will say I kind of like this. It's definitely a designer fragrance because it's sort of that sweet, fruity, floral kind of thing that a lot of designer fragrances do. But this one has a bit of a peach note that I don't hate. A lot of times I don't like peach, but here it has like peach and some citrus. I don't know if it's like an orange or what exactly, but some sort of a citrus in there. And then I get like a touch of florals. Maybe, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Lily of the Valley. I don't know, it could, if it's jasmine, it's not indolic at all, but I'm not exactly sure what kinds of florals there are, but I also get a touch of some sort of a sweetness, probably from vanilla, I would guess is in here. But yeah, so that's pretty nice. I haven't had really a chance to wear this yet, so this is just a first impressions. But I would say if you do like the idea of like a citrusy peach sweet kind of fragrance with a light touch of florals, maybe check this out. Like I said, I think the bottle's really pretty. And obviously the box is pretty, not that I say boxes, but that's cute too. Yeah, I think this would be an easy wear, probably best suited for spring and summer. But you could definitely start wearing this pretty soon, at least, well, where I am right now, it's freezing and there's a snowstorm happening. But, you know, maybe in a couple months, this would really work well. So that again is Jimmy Choo I Want Choo. Next up is the Michael Kors Gorgeous perfume, and this one is, I feel like it's trying to go in a different direction than a lot of the recent releases from the designer realm, and I appreciate that, though I'm not gonna say that I particularly love this one. I don't hate it. It's very soft, like it's not super powerful, and I think this one's supposed to have a note of tobacco in it. If you tell me that, I can search it out and find it in the slightest amount. Like now, like knowing that, I can say, yeah, there's maybe a little bit of tobacco in here, but it's in a very small quantity in my opinion. So if you are someone who really likes tobacco fragrances, or maybe you're really into niche and have tried a lot of niche fragrances with tobacco, I don't know that this is gonna satisfy your craving for tobacco by any means. Otherwise, again, it's sort of a floral fragrance. I get kind of mostly white florals, maybe yellow, but mostly white florals, and then like a woodiness to it. There's some sort of a woody base. So I appreciate that it is doing something different than most women's designer releases as of late. It's not just another fruity floral. But again, it's, you know, it's just not to my taste necessarily, or it's just not something that I would reach for. Not offensive by any means. think it's very pleasant. You know, maybe a great thing to just throw in for like a travel bag or your purse if you need to top up. You know, like I said, it's not, you can wear this anywhere. It's not going to offend anybody, but yeah. So well done, at least trying something different to Michael Kors, but to me, gorgeous is pretty at best. We'll say that. Next up is one that I've been really excited to try. It's from Masque Milano and it's called Madeleine or Madeleine. And the perfumer for this is Fanny Ball, which I really like. They always just put it right on the bottle. I actually had to go grab this earlier when I held up a bottle and I said it was Madeleine. I accidentally grabbed Petra because all their travel sprays look very similar. But anyway, I'm gonna spray it now since I needed to go grab it here. Oh yeah, this is so nice. So this is a very nutty, sweet sort of fragrance, like in a creamy sweet kind of a way. It's not like straight up sugar, but I definitely get a lot of the nuttiness, like almost like an earthy nuttiness. There's perhaps a bit of like a slight spicy tonka in here as well. And I think there could be like a touch of musk, probably some vanilla, because it does have that sort of slightly sweet, creamy, fluffy kind of maybe like a whipped creamy kind of a texture or smell to it. But the nuttiness here is definitely the focal point of this particular fragrance. So if you don't like nutty fragrances, then you won't like Madeleine. But if you do like somewhat sweet, not super sweet, but somewhat sweet gourmandy kinds of nutty fragrances, I think you should definitely check this out. I have had a chance to wear this once so far, and the longevity and projection was, I would say, moderate. It was nothing to scoff at. I think it was decent. And so far I have 4 Masque Milanos, and all of them have pretty good longevity and pretty good projection. They're kind of right in that wheelhouse that I really like, because I'm not really into those super, super powerful, quote unquote, beast mode kinds of fragrances. I just tend to be turned off by those, but also I don't like skin scents that much. I mean, occasionally I'll wear those, but I don't tend to want that. I want something kind of in the middle, and so these work really well for me. I will probably eventually do kind of a review of all my Masque Milanos together, but I really like this one. So if you haven't checked it out yet, Madeleine or Madeleine from Masque Milano, fantastic. Next up, I have the newest release from Jo Malone, or I think it's the newest one. It's called Scarlet Poppy, and it is in their Intense collection, though as you can see, the bottle here is very different. It's not the traditional black with the silver cap for the Intense line, but it is all red with a plastic red cap. So yeah, I think that's plastic. Anyway, I'm gonna respray this one because it's kind of died down. As usual, this is a soft fragrance. When I say as usual from Jo Malone, this is a pretty soft fragrance. I've worn this twice now, and both times I could pick it up for quite a while. Like, I would say the longevity is maybe a little better than some other Jo Malones that I've worn before, but it is, you know, like kind of like a close sort of scent. It's a scent that is not going to project a lot. I do quite like it. I find it very enjoyable. I mentioned in my haul video when I talked about this that I think it has some barley in it because it reminds me of the poppy and barley fragrance from Jo Malone. I think there's also like tonka, heliotrope, or something that gives it a little bit of an almondy feel. Definitely ambrette in here, and I believe that there is some like orris, like a buttery orris root kind of thing going on. So definitely one that I enjoy, but don't expect it to be intense just because it says it's intense. I don't think it is personally. You know, go check out some other reviews because maybe it performs differently on other people. I would say in general, fragrances perform okay-ish on me, not great, but not really bad, kind of in the middle. And for me, this was a very soft one, but like I said, it did hang around for a little longer than maybe a lot of the Jo Malones do. Oh, and this one was created by Mathilde Bijou. Next up is Dusita's Moonlight in Chiangmai, and I'll show you the bottle here. The bottles all look pretty much the same, except obviously the label is different. So this is the newest release from Pissarra. What's her last name? Gianni? I can't remember how you say her last name. But anyway, so she is the owner slash perfumer for Dusita. One of my favorite fragrance period probably is Issara from Dusita, and so I definitely kind of jumped at the opportunity to pick up Moonlight in Chiangmai when it came out. I would say this one leans maybe a touch masculine, not super masculine, but like if you're thinking about the grand scheme of kind of traditional like fragrance genders, I would say it leans slightly masculine. There is yuzu in this that to me somewhat pulls like a tart, maybe not overly tart, but like a little bit of like a crisp sort of apple-y kind of feel. But I can definitely pick up the yuzu in here. I think it's teak wood that she uses for like the woody note that's in this fragrance. And then I definitely pick up some vetiver. It's sort of hay-like, but also sort of green. Yeah, and I think there is like maybe a touch of spice in here. I don't remember exactly what it is. A touch of spice, touch of maybe myrrh, and maybe a little bit of jasmine, but it does sort of have a little bit of a green vibe to it overall. It could be coming from the vetiver, could be a touch of patchouli in here. But like I said, I think this one, it's nice. I really like it, but it's still not my favorite. I definitely love Isara. There are actually several fragrances from Dusita that I really enjoy. I think this is a solid release though, and I think if you were interested in one that you wanted to be slightly masculine leaning from this house, then maybe check out this one here, the Moonlight Chiangmai. Also there's Oud Infini, which is a masterpiece. I don't think I would wear it. I definitely wouldn't buy a bottle, but I've hung on to my sample because it's just pretty impressive to smell. But like I said, Isara is definitely still my favorite from the line. All right, and last up I have the 4 Christian Louboutin fragrances, and 3 of the 4 of these I've worn it twice or maybe 3 times in one case. But let me just show you real quick. So I have these little samples here, and they're nice samples. They're actually 4 milliliters, which is massive for a sample. You can see kind of what they look like. So they're dabber samples, which I do not like. So of course what I did was I decanted them into spray bottles so that I could actually kind of get the experience of what it would be like to spray these. And so here you can see little spray bottles. Like I said, they're 4 mils, so they were kind of filled up to there-ish originally, and now you can see I've worn through a lot of this one. And like I said, there's 2 others that I've worn through most of already, but there's one that I did not really wear very much. So anyway, first up is Loubidoo, which I do not like the name of that. Sounds like Scooby-Doo, but this is the one I think that has the little cat on top. This one is okay. It's very sweet. It's like, I think it's strawberry, rose, and cedar. And in the opening, you get tons of the strawberry, and then in the mid, it goes more into the rose and kind of dries down into a soft, woody rose, like the cedar and rose. I would say all of these, at least the 3 that I really gave like a proper test to, had somewhat moderate longevity and projection. Nothing horrible, nothing like beast mode by any means, just kind of in the middle, which is fine by me. This one, Loubidoo, I think is a bit too sweet for me. Very fruity, very sweet and floral. So, you know, I definitely wouldn't get this one. I also think it kind of smells like some other things that I've smelled before. I can't tell you exactly what. It just reminds me of other things I've smelled before in general. But I do think if you really like sweet, fruity, floral fragrances and you really want a bottle from this collection, then maybe Loubidoo is the right one for you to check out. But personally, that one is a pass for me. Next up is Loubifunk, which is the one that has the pineapple on top. And this is the one I was kind of hoping I would like the most because I just have a thing for pineapples. It has to do with the Psych TV show a little bit. If you've watched that, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But then anyway, so I just kind of like pineapples, and I think the bottle's cute. So this is not my favorite, unfortunately, although it is my second favorite. So Loubifunk also has rose in this one. But in this case, it's paired with blackcurrant and patchouli, which I can definitely get a little bit of both. Actually, probably more blackcurrant than patchouli, honestly. I get more rose and blackcurrant than anything in this one. So again, it's maybe a touch fruity, like another fruity floral, but in this case, it's not so sweet like the last one. Maybe it's the patchouli that gives it a slightly earthy feel, so it's not quite so super sweet like the last one. But I do enjoy Loubifunk. Like I said, my second favorite. I still don't think I would buy a bottle of that one, but I do quite like it, and I find it to be, of course there's like lots of rose patchoulis out there, but I find it to maybe be slightly more original than the very sweet, fruity, floral Loubidoo one. Okay, then we have my least favorite. Now, it's not necessarily because it's a bad fragrance, it's because it's not in a style that I like. This one is called Loubikis. Oh, and I almost forgot about the perfumers. Sorry about that. So Loubidoo and Loubikis, both created by Daphne Bougie. We'll go with Bougie. She did both of those. And then Loubifunk was created by Nicolas Beaulieu. So anyway, let's go back to Loubikis. Like I said, I don't really care for this one, but it's because it is a white floral fragrance, and I don't typically like white florals. In this case, it's jasmine and tuberose, and you can pick those up kind of in equal parts. I feel like in the dry down, the tuberose comes out maybe a little bit more than the jasmine, which is okay by me because Even though I'm not a huge fan of either of those notes, I slightly prefer tuberose to jasmine. But then there's like a little bit of a muskiness, like a clean muskiness and a woodiness to it as well. Yeah, it's just not my style of fragrance. I cannot see myself wearing this. But if you are a lover of white florals, then maybe Loubikiss is the one for you. This one has like a person's head, I think, as the topper for that one. And then the last one up is my favorite. This one is called Loubirouge, and it's the one that has like the world with the shoe on top, like one of the Louboutin shoes. And right away, like if I tell you the notes and you know my personal style, you know I'm gonna like it. This has iris, which I love. And then it also has vanilla, which I love, and cardamom. So the cardamom, I feel like it comes out, but it's not overpowering. It's not like a cardamom bomb. For example, like the new kerosene fragrance called Sweetly Known, that one is just like a cardamom bomb. Like you're just sniffing cardamom, so much of it. Here you can smell it in there, but it's like if you were going to just put like a little sprinkle in something to kind of give it the flavor and nuance of the cardamom. So you get that. I honestly think this leans a little bit woody, so it reminds me of some of the woody iris fragrances that I own. Do I pick up the vanilla? Yes, of course I do, but really I think the iris is the standout here. And then like I said, it's not credited in the listing, but I pick up a woody sort of note or accord here. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'm sure that all of these have more than the 3 or 4 notes that are listed, but here there's definitely something like a very kind of woody iris type of thing going on. So I really like this one because it reminds me of some things that I already own. I'm not sure if I will buy it or not, but I'm contemplating it. So I'm definitely thinking about buying Loubirouge. This one performed pretty well. Also, that one definitely a win. Definitely one I would recommend if you're interested in something from this line. Of the 4 that I tried, Loubirouge is definitely hands down my favorite. And I think, anybody who's a lover of those types of notes like the iris and vanilla and woody notes, I think you'll really enjoy Loubirouge. If, by the way, you're interested in buying any of the Louboutin fragrances and you don't really know where to go for them, I would be happy to forward on the email address of the kind woman who sent me these samples. I don't think she would mind, but I'm not going to post it because I'm not sure if she'd want me to post it publicly. So if you are interested in those, just shoot me a message on Instagram or to my Gmail, and then I can let you know her address so you can contact her about picking these up. All right, so those are my thoughts on these new releases. But before we go, of course, I need to tell you about the giveaway. So again, the winner will receive these 2 fragrances. I have the Jimmy Choo I Want Choo and the Michael Kors Gorgeous. These are both in 10 milliliter travel sprays. They're both brand new from Ulta. And so if you are interested in winning these, you first have to be in the United States just because of shipping restrictions with Perfume, so sorry about that. But if you are, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Make sure you like this video. And then also please leave me a comment down below and tell me which of these, I think it was 9-ish fragrances I talked about today, you are most interested in trying, or maybe you've already tried and really love. So let me know which one. It doesn't have to be one of these 2. It can be literally any of the ones I talked about today. Which one are you most interested in? Leave that comment below. And again, make sure you're subscribed and you like this video. So if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. But if you didn't, that's okay. Go ahead, give it a thumbs down. That's no problem. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay warm, and I'll see you next time. Bye.